fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got really both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God! Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get involved.
It's very close. These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Good evening and welcome to a new season of the Ozicar Turbo Touring Car Series. It's Season 6, and we are going on a world tour of tracks we have never seen before on the TCR schedule here in Ozicar competition, sponsored this season by Simspeed and a prestige trophy, badge, and engraving. You'll see it all live right here on Simspeed TV. My name is Ryan Jones. Alongside me is Nick Scrayev, and behind the scenes, Fonty is pushing some buttons. Qualifying just about to wrap up here, Nick, and we got some familiar faces returning to the top of our timing sheets.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've seen some pretty fast speed from J. Cool. We're just going to have a look here at the track map here in Montmeló, Catalonia in Spain. You can see Monaco, Milan, Munich and Rome all around the outside. So Catalonia, always pretty warm there, 16 turns. So we're just zooming in now.
Always surprises me how close it actually is to the city at this track. It's not nestled away in the woods anywhere, is it? I think it's 4.7 kilometers in length. Opened in 1991. We're running the historic layout tonight that were from 1995. Let's take a look then at our starting grid. It is J. Cool on the pole with a 154.138. He will have Reese Howe starting alongside him, less than a tenth of a second separating them. Mitch Dean lines up on row 2 alongside Martin Turner. Mario Vartanian returns in 5th from missing out the championship just last season. Daniel Hedeshard on his outside. Matthew Spencer and Stuart Crawford are on row 4. Robert Northway and Ashley Norman starting from 9th and 10th.
Yeah, that's right. Just outside the top 10, we've got Ira Felberg and Isaac Edwards, Scott Neville, Jaeger Pascoe, Philip Bacasilis, Chris Bleakley, Jack Patterson, Cameron Cousins, and Steve Kirk not registering a time.
Weather conditions for these drivers, 27 degrees track temp, a little bit of wind, a little bit of humidity, neither of which are going to make too much of a profound effect. Out there, partly cloudy, so a bit of cloud cover might aid or hamper the lap times throughout the course of our opening race of the evening. Our 7-lap sprint race from green to checkers, no stops in between. And then, of course, race 2 coming up afterwards will be just short of double that length. And it will feature a mandatory pit stop for a minimum of 2 tyres. One of the fun things about Barcelona is the long, long run down towards turn 1 and the braking zone. You need to absolutely nail your launch here, more than almost any other circuit in iRacing, because of how long that run is. If you get it wrong, you could find yourself going from the front row back quite a few rows by the time you jump on that brake pedal. And it is the outside that J. Cool lines up on as pole position. He puts him on the racing line, but it does put the onus on him to get a good enough launch that Reese Howe cannot gain an overlap as time runs out, and we're going to get Season 6 underway of the Ozicar Turbo Touring Car Series World Tour. A jump start from 3rd place Mitch Dean, it looked like, as the green flag comes out, and we are underway. And a blistering start from Mario Vartanian, already up into 3rd place from 5th place. And Daniel Hedeshard following him through from 6th as well. So the 2nd row got away pretty poorly. Reese Howe trying to take it away from J. Cool on the run into turn number 1. They run side by side and through turn 2. J. Cool has lost the lead. Reese Howe now leads us through 3.
Yeah, we're just seeing Vartani and Hedeshard just sticking with this group at the moment. But yeah, we're just seeing those 3 almost starting to pull away from the rest of the pack at the moment. Everyone's getting through clearly as we just see there, Cool up the inside there of Reese Howe to see if he's going to make it stick. It's a pretty long sweeping turn, that turn 3.
Yeah, gives him the inside for turn 4, but he's on the outside for the hairpin there. He's looked for the crossover, stopped it early, got it turned, got the power down early as well, and now he's got the switchback, got the inside for the next corner. Almost a little chicane, this one, as they get very close, as they turn it in. They're slowing each other up so much. Mario Vartanian might get a look in as well, and he does. He gets to the inside of J. Cool. Leading onto the back straight, Vartanian's gone from 5th to 2nd, just like that, in half a lap. And now, historic circuit. We're going to go a little bit past the normal braking and turning point you'd see here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So Vartanian, a bit of redemption, obviously just losing out on the championship last time, as we're just seeing him go through the inside there. That is not going to put him at a good position with this this long right-hand sweeper of turn 12 here. Coming onto the straight now, so looks like they'll have to sit in there as we just see Jay Cool so close there on the bumper there on the back of Reese Howe.
And no final chicane used either with this historic circuit, as into pit lane comes Mitch Dean. So confirmation, he did jump the start. He has to serve a penalty as a result, so that's going to put his race well and truly, well, in the bin pretty much. That's going to put him right at the back of the field. And with no final chicane, it creates a very quick exit onto the main straight, which creates plenty of draft and slipstream down towards turn 1. Howe able to fend off J. Cool, and Vartanian with a fantastic run through the first 2 corners. On the inside for 3. Might have been a little bit of a touch there, but they both get away with it. And still, as they run side by side, Reese Howe's got to defend who he wants to cover off here.
Oh, Jay Cool going very, very deep under brakes, going around the outside of 2. It looks like Vartanian might be able to get up the inside, but that is going to put him at a disadvantage now as they go through into turn 4. But you can see this battle here is pulled Hedderschild and Turner right on the back of this. So it's turned a 3-car battle now right into 5. And you can also see Ashley Norman not too far behind as well.
They both made mistakes at turn 5. J. Cool had oversteer, and Mario Vartanian went too deep, bit of understeer. And that allowed Reese Howe to pull about a car length on them. And he should be comfortable down the back straight. No, because J. Cool just had the mother of all exits. And here he comes. Reese House having to move over to defend this spot. Going to be really compromised on the exit as Cool able to open up his racing line and get the power down. What a fantastic fight this is to open up our account on Season 6. The leading train, 6 cars strong.
Yeah, we've seen both Reese Howe and J. Cool have pretty mixed ifs, in particular last season as well. So really both fast off the bat. Round 1, race 1 here as we've seen come in the straight. So you'll see just that draft there of J. Cool pulling right up in the back of their Reese Howe. So the track's quite wide at this point here. So they've got plenty of room to kind of pick their line here. But J. Cool is definitely going to be at the inside here. He'll have to try and keep that momentum up so he can make it through that longer turn 2. Oh, just cuts in front there.
Good job from Cool to take the race lead away. And as Vartanian looks again on the inside of turn 3, this time on Reese Howe, he'll be hoping to run away and take advantage of that. Further back, Jaeger Pascoe has slotted himself into P10 in his Audi after starting this race from 14th. So he's found a few spots early in this one as Vartanian's got by Howe, and Howe's got a little bit of a nudge from Daniel Hedderscheid, who tried to follow through, now having to cover off from Martin Turner. Ashley Norman right behind his Chicken Up Racing compatriot, looking to stay latched on to the leading group. So it's J. Cool that leads us now from Vartanian. Reese Howe back to 3rd.
Yeah, and to say as well there, Ryan, is great seeing such a good showing here from Chicken Up Racing, entering 3 cars here as we've seen today. So big team presence, especially as well with 111 as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good battle of the teams that we'll see throughout this season here. But we're talking about teams. We're just seeing Ashley Norman up the inside there, obvious teammate of Martin Turner. Looks like he's going to make this move stick.
That was a good move. Martin Turner just sidestepped him and allowed him the room to be able to complete that without holding each other up any more than they needed to, as they now have about 5 car lengths to shut down if they want to get to the back of Daniel Hedderscheid, Reese Howe, Vartanian, and J. Cool. J. Cool, as he comes across the line, has a margin in hand of 0.6 of a second over Vartanian, who's not going to be close enough this time by as we begin lap 4 of 7.
Yeah, so you're expecting with J. Cool to having that clean air now, he's going to be able to maybe put a bit more pressure on Vartanian, so that gap from first to second already about it was it was at 0.7. It has been pushed back a little bit to just over 0.3 of a second at the moment.
Yeah, Vartanian is looking very strong.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So not forgetting that, yeah, the first race we've got only 7 laps, so it's pretty short. So if you want to get your moves done, you have to be really quick about it. It's not
He didn't
something
do
that
any
you can
laps in practice and changed.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Catalonia's been a circuit, and the TCR's used quite a lot. So yeah, you would assume that most of these drivers are quite familiar with this combination at the moment.
The thing that I love is I got about 5 words out before my internet dropped out. I realized about 15 words later, and about 15 seconds after it dropped out, the internet caught back out and got the rest of the 15 words to you.
That's all right. I was just telling you how great of a person you are, Ryan, and how much I value you.
Oh, I'm sure. Don't worry, I could hear you. I could hear you. You can't get away from me. You just couldn't hear me. But yeah, Vartanian, no laps in practice, got in time for qualifying, and is showing why. He doesn't need the practice. He is looking very, very strong. Right from the get-go, his launch off the line was superb. So too was Hedderscheid. So he hasn't quite been able to carry on with it. As now, out of the last corner, he is much, much closer than he was last time by. And look out, because J. Cool is going to have to edge the car over to the right-hand side of the racetrack, but Vartanian says you can't move it over enough. I'm going to get to your inside for turn 1. Late on the brakes, Mario Vartanian to the lead at Barcelona. J. Cool looking for the switchback, unable to find a way through, as Mario very cleverly just parked it on the apex to prevent that move from happening. And it dragged Reese Howe right up to the back bumpers as well. While in 4th place, Daniel Hedderscheid did the new fastest lap of the race as Cool goes for a late look up the inside. Very opportunistic, that one. Caught Vartanian napping.
Yeah, that's it. Definitely caught Vartanian by surprise there. Vartanian's going to be around the outside here of turn number 4, so he's not going to be in the most ideal position. He will have to probably wait now. Won't be able to get anything done through this chicane. He will have to try and sit in through that slightly shorter straight here down the back, but it is a tricky one because the start-finish line is quite short there on that long straight, so you probably don't want to be second wheel going into that last lap.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. It's not a massive draft-centric track like we have been to. It has got big opportunities for slipstream and slingshots, but I reckon you can fend them off here if you're good enough through the middle and latter parts of the first sector, and Sector 3 as well, as we see here Hedderscheid battling with Ashley Norman, getting around his outside and trying to drive him so tight to the apex. He actually ended up in his left door. Hedderscheid after doing that purple lap, just struggling a bit on this lap with the 2 chicken up racing cars running him down as we are about to begin the penultimate lap of the race. It is J. Cool that still leads us from Vartanian, Howe, and a small gap back to Hedderscheid, Norman and Turner.
Yeah, you can see Hedderscheid under a lot of pressure there from those 2 chicken up cars. Definitely not familiar, quite familiar, Hedderscheid, with those chicken up cars, especially when we saw in the Ozicar V8 series a couple of seasons ago. They always had the battles out as well, but this battle just at the front here starting to heat up as well. So Reese Howard not too far back there from the back of Tony at the moment, so he's still definitely in within a chance. We just saw there in the background there, I think it was either Norman or Turner about to put a move there on Hedderscheid.
It was Turner looking to put a move on Norman, which he decided not to go through with. If he had have, it would have cost them both, I think, a chunk of time to that 111 esports car. And with this little time left in the race, you can't afford to give anything away, which is why the pressure amongst the top 3 is so high right now as we're about to wind our way back onto the back straight, we call it, but it's in the middle of the racetrack. And J. Cool has 3 tenths in hand, should be safe into the braking zone. But turn 1, as we begin our final lap, going to be the biggest threat he sees in this race. If Vartanian stays this far behind him, Reese Howe as well could play a factor. And if they all come together, look out for that 3-car group behind. Top 6 separated by 2.2 seconds. It's a 2.3 second gap further to 7th place, Robert Northway. So this leading 6 really doing a phenomenal job. Here's the exit, Nick. Has he got a good exit?
Yeah, you can see Hedderschild just taking that little bit of a shallow line there, so he would have lost a little bit of momentum there. But seems to be holding a not too bad gap there to those 2 chicken up cars as we're just looking a little bit further back here at Isaac Edwards and Cameron Cousins here. Oh, sorry, and Matthew Spencer. Apologies for that. So having a pretty lonely drive there just outside the top 10.
Edwards is closing and showing the nose, but he's going to be given the room there. Didn't think he was close enough to make that one, but a lot of respect being shown by Pascoe, who leaves him plenty of room to work with. Let's go back to the front, though, because we're on the final lap of the race, and Vartanian wasn't able to get close enough at turn 1 or turn 2, or any corner therefore after. He's quickly running out of time. He might start to rue his lack of practice. Maybe the extra couple laps could have given him the edge to be up there and leading this race right now, because it looks like Reese Howe's putting more pressure on him than he's putting on Cool. As right as I say that, Howe makes a mistake and drops off.
Yeah, still well within that draft at the moment. It does look like Cool's pretty safe at the moment. Whether or not Reese Howe is going to put a move down in turn 10, he is starting to get pretty close, but not close enough to take a look. Just tucking in behind there, Vartanian taking a pretty good defensive line.
It was a new fastest lap as well from J. Cool on lap 6, doing exactly what he needed to keep himself free and comfortable out front. And after starting on pole position and losing the lead a couple of times, it is going to be J. Cool that comes out of the final corner in first position. And coming to the line, race 1 of season 6. It's going to go the way of J. Cool. He gets it done as Vartanian comes home in second, and Reese Howe will round out our podium.
Yeah, so cracking first race that we've seen. We just saw both those 2 chicken up cars there of Ashley Norman and Turner very, very close there as they pass the line. But yeah, awesome close first race. So really looking forward to this feature coming up.
Let's take a look then. As the last of our drivers come to the line, Scott Melville in 16th and Steve Kirk in 17th. I think Mitch Dean will be the final car on the lead lap after having to serve a penalty for a jump start. 2 cars a lap down, multiple laps down. Let's take a look at our full race results then from the end of race 1 here at Circuit de Barcelona. Circa 95. It's a winning margin of 8 tenths of a second for Jay Cool in the end. Over Mario Vartanian in second. Reese Howe home in third. Daniel Hedderscheid records a 4th place finish out of Ashley Norman and Martin Turner. Robert Northway picks up 7th. Aaron Felberg 8th. Philip Backett-Silas finishes in 9th. And Niga Pascoe holds on for 10th.
Seeing outside of that top 10, Isaac Edwards, Matthew Spencer, Isaac Summons, Cameron Cousins, Jack Patterson in 15th, Scott Melville, Steve Kirk, Mitch Dean, and Chris Berkeley and Stuart Crawford in 20th.
That rounds out your field for race 1. All right, stay with us here on Simspeed TV. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, ready for race 2 from Barcelona.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's going with the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up there.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Very close. These guys, I want to make their way through the field very quickly. it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Lead to the inside goes Logan Clapman is going to touch in. Pit press. Sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Trunke goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to the Ozicar Turbo Touring Car Series from Barcelona, opening up Season 6 of this competition on a world tour of tracks never seen before in this competition, thanks to Simfinity and Prestige Trophy Badge and engraving. Race 1 was pretty cool. Mario Vartanian started 5th and put a lot of pressure on, but Jay Cool from the pole was able to fend him and Reese Howell off to take the win. And with another qualifying session to set the grid, we see how things will change in our 12-lap feature race here, Nick.
Yeah, that's exactly right there, Ron. So World Tour pretty exciting too, with both Simfinity and Prestige with prizes as well. So we'll see another rig getting raffled off from all the entrants as well. So as well as a winner getting a Prestige trophy. So yeah, quite a lot of stake here. We've seen quite a few previous championship leaders come through in the way of Jager Pascoe and Mario Vartanian have both been right up the front there fighting for the championships in previous seasons. So, yeah, as well as we've got last winner just then, Jay Cool, hasn't been a winner yet. So this could be potentially his first time.
Well, qualifying is now getting underway as drivers head on out to the racetrack, and we shall take a look as they prepare for qualifying, which is, of course, 3 laps by themselves. They can only see themselves out on the racetrack, but they're all out there at the same time. Generally, lap 1 is the slowest. Lap 2 and lap 3 are the 2 fastest the drivers will do. If you really are harsh on your tyres, though, that quickest lap will come on lap 2.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a very generous track here at Barcelona. So super wide track. So not too often that cars will get invalid laps. There's usually only a couple of corners that people make little mistakes on. As we see Mitch Dean here, he's just on his out lap at the moment. So he's just coming into turn 4 here. Quite an even hairpin here, but especially with the TCR cars, which do understeer quite a lot, you can just see there, we have seen people in the past get quite an invalid lap there, running just into the kitty litter there, as well as this chicane just coming up as we're just catching a bit of Jay Cool here. So he's about to come past the start-finish line to start his first. Actually, sorry, I mixed that up. He's still near the start of the track.
Daniel Heddershard as well. Just on an outlap at the moment. You can see warming his tyres up as he moves from left to right and back again down that straight and then throws it a bit too wide with the cold brakes into the next corner before you rejoin the track that is used nowadays at Barcelona, the historic version, seeing just a couple of variations and turning this place into a 13-corner facility, as we are seeing now a couple of drivers beginning our first flying laps of the session. I think Philip Backett-Soulis might be the first driver on the racetrack, just heading into turn 1 right about now as he tips it in. Try to use some of that yellow curb if you want to help get the car slowed or turned or whatever you want to do with it. Luckily, it doesn't disappear when you get close like it used to in the early days of this Barcelona build. Do you remember that, Nick?
I certainly do. Just seeing this big sweeping turn 3 there. You can see all bitumen runoff as well, so people run quite wide there and usually quite potentially 3 wide and stuff there. So there's quite a lot of opportunities to run different lines through here, as we're just seeing him come through that turn 4 hairpin at the moment there. Probably I find the trickiest part of the track where he's about to go, just that chicane, trying to nail that perfectly, as we're just seeing Daniel Heddershard just coming through that turn 4 hairpin at the moment. Yeah, so just catching the chicane here, it's a bit of a tricky one because just there then, so I reckon that would be an invalid lap there by Heddershard. You can't put all 4 tyres there onto that. It's almost like this rubber AstroTurf there, that green turf there. So yeah, you can see that's an aborted lap there. So he's going to try and put a bit more heat into those tyres and have another crack at it.
All right, so luckily it's happened in lap 1. where it doesn't matter too much what you do because you're still generating heat in the tires and the brakes, even if you're not actively looking to do that, and you're pushing as hard as you can. The tire just won't give you what you want on the first lap. As our first lap is on the board, it is Tower the 55.081. But now it's half a second quicker than our next quickest, which is Martin Turner, but expect that to change pretty quickly. Riding on board with J. Cool here. Maybe a little bit wide. Missed the apex quite a bit. Preferred line through there isn't right on the apex, but I still think he was a bit wide of that, as Vartanian puts in a 54.94.
Yeah, so Vartanian definitely with the early pace at the moment. We'll just see how J. Cool responds here. We can just see that dogleg. He can almost keep it flat out through there, not cut that inside curb too far, run the car nice and wide there, try and maintain that momentum. Yeah, Jake Cool to the top of the timesheets with a 154.6 there. So responding pretty quick to Vartanian. They will get the chance to have another lap here. So Jake Cool's going to keep the gas down here. Is just seeing Vartanian through the middle of the circuit now, going through that turn 4 hairpin.
And J. Cool, how about that lap time? 54.6 to go 0.3 quicker than Mario, who will be hoping to put it ahead of J. Cool here to alleviate the issues he had in passing him in race 1. But of course, don't forget, we have a mandatory minimum 2-tire pit stop to take place for each driver in this one. So that can put some strategy in the mix, and you can pit early for some clean air, or stay out for some clean air and pit later on if you want. So we'll probably see a few different options being taken there, as Reese Howe is about to complete his second lap of the session. Look for this to be a market improvement, and it is. He improves by 1.1 seconds as a 53.9. It's 0.6 clear of J. Cool, but will it stand? Because if J. Cool finds 1.1 seconds, he'll go 0.5 quicker than Reese Howe, as air is cool.
It's a very tricky corner there. J. Cool's going through. It's almost like a double apex. It's a really, really long corner there of turn 10 and 11 there, as he's just coming around 12, just coming through that big sweeper. Very, very fast part of the circuit there. Running it nice.
Yeah, here we come to the line for J. Cool. 53.8 goes 0.1 of a second quicker than Reese Howe. That is a good job from him to find that improvement. Vartanian picks up an off track, so he found no improvement. He'll be hoping he's still got enough tire life left to find what he need. About a second on his final lap here.
Yeah, just catching a few of the chicken up cars here of Mitch Dean. So not having a great first race there, unfortunately, with that jump start there. So hopefully a bit of redemption here in the feature from Mitch Dean. Currently sitting in third, so in a pretty good spot at the moment. We haven't seen a qualifying lap yet from Daniel Hedderschild, so we did see him get an invalid lap there from that chicane there at turns 5 and 6.
Hedderschild, no time on the board. Needs to find something with 2 minutes remaining in the session, and this being his final lap. Well, if he doesn't find anything, he'll stay in the back row of the field as he comes to the line. Vartanian crossing the line as well, as a 53.985 goes third, 1,000th of a second away from the front row. Hedderschild goes 7th with a 55.110. That's half a second away from Ashley Norman on row 3. Martin Turner's in 5th. He will most likely... No, he won't, because this is lap 4, so this won't count, even if he does make it back to the line. Then he has aborted. So, how close are those times, Nick?
Yeah, it's exactly right. Showing that strong pace there in that top 5. Only split there by 0.6 of a second. So we're going to see, I reckon, a very, very close feature race. Just seeing a few people down the back there. So Cameron Cousins down in 16th at the moment, trying to improve. Hopefully he can, there is a minute left up on the board, so he should be able to get this lap done. See if he can bump his way up a little bit there from 16th position.
Cameron Cousins is going to cross the line, and he is going to stay in 16th place, only 0.04 of a second away from Isaac Summers. Jack Patterson's not going to set a time, neither is Steve Kirk. So why don't we take a look at our starting grid for race 2? It was a late improvement for Jay Cool, actually, to give himself a bit of breathing room in terms of that pole. 3 tenths he has over Reese Howell, who will start from 2nd. Vartanian moves up 1 row. Last race he was 5th, now he's 3rd. Mitch Dean starts from 4th, Martin Turner from 5th, and Ashley Norman 6th. Daniel Heddershard and Robert Northway share the 4th row of the grid. Ara Felberg and Isaac Edwards will start from 9th and 10th.
Yeah, we've just outside the top 10, Matthew Spencer, Philip Bakasoulis, Jaeger Pascoe, Chris Beakley, row 8, Isaac Summers and Cameron Cousins, with Steve Kirk and Jack Patterson not registering a lap.
So what are you expecting from our pit strategy here? Well, undercut, overcut?
We'll see. I think if it's really, really tight battles, we've seen how quick Jay Cool is with open air, so he's not really relying on that draft from any car in front. So you could see, if Jay Cool's battling with other people who want to go the undercut, so he can kind of get away from those other fast drivers and not waste too much time battling. So I reckon the undercut this time around will be the desired pick.
Do you want to put any money on it?
I actually don't have any cash on me at the moment. I'll buy you a coffee. How about
that? All right, let's see. I'm going to go for the overcut just to be different, just because I don't want to associate with something you have chosen, Nick.
I make good life choices.
Yeah. Track temp is 4 degrees cooler. So that should see the lap times a little bit quicker in this race. It might help as well with saving a bit of tyres. And it might also urge drivers towards an undercut strategy, Nick. Because colder track, colder tyres, longer to get them up to temp, which means if you put on lap 1, you've only gone through a bit of a heat cycle. Whereas if you put on lap 3 or 4, you've gone through a whole heat cycle, and you have to do a whole other heat cycle when you come back out of pit lane on what we think will be 2 new front tyres. But honestly, who knows what these drivers are thinking. As we are getting set for the start for race 2 from round 1 of season 6. Red lights are on, the revs are eyes.
Green, green, green.
It's a green flag, and away we go. Nice start again from Vartanian. Good start from Howell as well. Vartanian's to the inside of the racetrack, but Howell gonna cover him off, so Vartanian goes to the middle, and Jay Cool is already back to 3rd and being covered off by Vartanian, and moves across to the racing line. Howell on the inside, Vartanian out wide behind them. Everyone else gets it slowed down and pulled up and turned through turns 1 and through turn 2. And Howell has taken the lead of the race away, and Vartanian's fighting to hold 2nd because Cool's got to his inside for turn 3.
Yeah, no surprise again seeing these 3 absolutely with the elbows out again. So I think they're going to still kind of push for position there, as we just see Cool well and truly there up the inside there of Vartanian. So he's going to be in a better position. We're just seeing the 2 chicken up cars there of Turner and Norman side by side.
Again,
and we've just had
Heddershide into the back left of Norman's car. So the chicken up boys picking up where they left off. Mitch Dean, he's up in 4th, so he has done a good job he started from 4th actually. He's gone back to 8th, so he's not had a good start. But I imagine it's probably better than a jump start that he had last time, or at least I hope it is. As here comes Reese Howell having to defend because Vartanian's looking hungry. Doesn't want to be stuck behind any more drivers in race 2 like he was in race 1. Goes a bit too wide and has to tuck back in line. Now get ready, because in a few seconds we'll see pit lane come up on the right-hand side, on the inside of the final corner, and we'll see if anyone's going to dive in as early as lap 1, which we have seen in the past. So here we go. J. Cool does not come in, neither does anyone else from the top 5. Although in the background, we see Daniel Hederscheid make the trip to the pits.
Yeah, we did see some very early pace there from Hederscheid. He generally races a lot faster than he qualifies. So he was at 4th in race 1. So potentially we might see this clean air pay dividends here for Hederscheid, as we're just seeing him pull into the pits now. One thing I do love about this new iRacing update is the pit lane sirens. So you always know when someone's coming through, because there's a big air horn that goes off every time someone pulls into the pits. So yeah, just seeing a few of the 111 cars in the pits at the moment, whether or not they are actually in pit stops, or I think there might have been a few that had some damage here, as we just coming back to our leaders at the moment there with J. Cool with the upper hand to Reese Howe and Vartanian, as we just see Daniel Hederscheid out at the moment. So he's going to have plenty of clean air to claw back on the rest of the field.
No gap between Reese Howe and Vartanian. There's a small gap between Reese Howe and J. Cool in front of him. Poor exit for Howe. Vartanian much quicker coming off the corner, as we see Isaac Edwards has spun his Reynolds machine further back in the field, as into the braking zone. Reese Howe was very much on the edge there. You could see his car actually sliding a little bit on the brakes, struggled to pull it up, but did a nice job to fend off Mario, who's now got a check-it-up car in his back bumper. Vartanian slides and catches it, checks up Turner, Norman, and allows Mitch Dean to the outside of his teammate, and they touch as well. And that was almost 2 chickens in the fence.
Two chickens in the chicken wire there, but yeah, so Vartanian is going to be under a lot of pressure now from Norman, Dean, and Turner there. The 3 chicken up racing cars potentially might be working together there. So Vartanian not in too good of a position at the moment. He's about over a second there from Reese House, so he's not going to be close enough for a draft. Just seeing Martin Turner just holding the inside line there, as they're all going to fight between themselves for track position here through that chicane.
Gee, the chicken up, boys. We were 3 wide through turn 1 for a moment, and Ashley Norman's going to emerge out front in 4th place, and Martin Turner's just going to miss out, and Mitch Dean will stay in 6th. So those guys are going at it tooth and nail at the moment. Costing themselves a bit of ground to the podium fight, though.
Yeah, they'll definitely be able to maybe a bit of a photo shoot opportunity there, seeing all 3 cars there racing neck and neck. Just seeing Vartanian has actually pulled about a second there. So you can see that defending there from Ashley Norman has held those 3 up there at the moment. Also, yeah, so we're seeing approximately 1 second gaps there from Cool to Howe to Vartanian and to the chicken up cars there behind. So a little bit more spaced out, as we saw in race 1 at the moment. But look, it is pretty early days yet, and the pit stop strategy hasn't come into effect yet.
For all but 1 car, Daniel Hederscheid, and I think Ira Felberg, Cameron Cousins, Isaac Summers also came to pit road, and unfortunately Chris Bleakley not having fun with his internet tonight, disconnecting him from both races at this stage. Hopefully he can get that sorted for next round. Is on board with Matthew Spencer. Look at the steering input he's putting in to get that front wheel drive machine around these corners. It does come a point where input starts becoming less and less useful, and just start scrubbing the tyres, though, so you have to be careful. You can't just keep winding on the lock until the car turns, because it won't. It just won't turn.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was just actually looking up ahead there on car 46, Robert Northway. A very retro Audi touring car. Brings me back to the Australian Touring Car Championship of the early 2000s and late 90s there. It's a really cool silver livery there. So just on board here was Matthew Spencer there, just pulling in a little bit of time there in towards Northway. Currently sitting about half a second back at the moment. Just starting to take a look here at our lead pack there. So Vartanian over, just about a second or so back from Reese House. So we're seeing these three quite spaced out at the moment. So I actually will tell you that you're probably right there, Ryan, that they're all going to try and hold out now until the last minute. I was thinking that if we're seeing some pretty close fought battles that people will want to try and go for the undercut, but I think the overcut now will probably be the way to go.
As I would tell my mother, I am always right, Nick. And I'm sure you will stoutly disagree to that. In a few races' time, I've got to say, I am interested to see what happens between Norman, Turner, and Dean here, because they're all from the same outfit, but they're all racing each other for track position. So do they all pit at the same time, or do they all try and fake each other out and play their own little game in this intra-team rivalry that seems to be forming pretty strongly for this season?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, we have definitely seen some amazing battles here between a few of these guys from the V8 Ozicar series, as well as also making it to the PDC as well. So Chicken Up Racing not only enjoying the V8 series as well, but also quite involved in the endurance scene. So pretty diverse outfit that we're seeing here from Chicken Up Racing, and putting on a really good show at the moment with 4th, 5th, and 6th position.
Fastest lap on the last trip around for J. Cool is that purple in the top right, 153.827. If memory serves me right, that is quicker than what we had in race 1, and it is 4 tenths quicker than what he managed to do in qualifying. So, sorry, 2 tenths quicker than what he managed to do in slower. My God. So he's showing some pretty good pace, isn't he? Not slowing down as this one continues. 2.5 seconds in hand over Vartanian, who's not quite taken it to him like he did on our first one.
Yeah, but you do think that we have seen such discrepancies in the pits as well, so it's not uncommon at all to see a few cars be a second or two faster in the pit lane. There's a bit of a roll of the dice, and it's also trying to absolutely nail that pit entry. So fair enough to J. Cool, or just seeing Vartani go a little bit wide there into that gravel there, but as we see him pull into the pits now, but it's fair enough to have that speed there on the track, but it's absolutely nailing your pit stop and your pit entry as well, which is where you can make that time up.
So Turner's come in as well, and hasn't been followed by any of his fellow chickens. So that answers that battle. He's going to try and undercut Mitch Dean and Ashley Norman. And I wonder where Vartanian comes out relative to Heddershide, because we saw Heddershide peel off very early on, and he's actually only just behind Reese Howe now on the racetrack, both of which I would expect should be pretty close to Vartanian, who's still up on the jacks as you watch the Chicken Up cars battle it out. These two will be smart not to battle each other on this lap while their teammates on pit road. Vartanian's just been released from his pit bay, and he's now getting up to speed on the main straight. Reese Howe and Heddershide are coming and closing and chasing each other across the racetrack, but they're going to come out just behind. And in fact, they've come out behind Martin Turner as well.
Yeah, so potentially not a great stop there from
Both of them.
Martin. Yeah, I was just lost for words there. Not too great of a stop there from Reese Howe, which has pushed him back there. We did see Heddershide obviously pit on lap 1, so it was a bit tricky to gauge where he was sitting at, but Heddershide looking very aggressive at the moment, want to get around Reese Howe at the moment. It does look like he's got the pace at the moment. He's going to try and do the crossover here. See if he can make it stick. Got the momentum here coming into that chicane. Oh, using all that curb there. Bit of a side bump by the looks of it there to Reese Howe. So Heddershide doing an excellent job there with his racecraft, getting that move done there on Reese Howe, and looks like they're gaining pretty quickly there on Martin Turner, just slightly up the road there by about 0.3 of a second there. Very impressive result here with Head and Shoulders. So obviously getting a top 5 in the race earlier as well. So potentially well on his way there for another top 5 position. So always seeing that hard work that Head and Shoulders putting in every season, and you start to see it pay off.
Yeah, he has been a good improver over the season. But Reese Howe's about to try and take one of his spots back as I caught sight of a chicken up racing car coming out of pit road. That was Ashley Norman. He's going to rejoin ahead of Martin Turner in their little intra-team rivalry. Mitch Dean, meanwhile, set out for another lap. And I reckon Reese Howe might have got a slowdown there, or he fell off a lot, but he's come back the middle of turn 3.
Yeah, not too sure what's going on there because, Howe probably is known a bit to be a little bit stronger of these three at the moment there, but being held back a little bit there. So Martin Turner having to run really, really wide there. And it looks like this other chicken up car of Ashley Norman is also going to be under pressure now as they go too wide there into the hairpin there. Oh, might have been a bit of a bump there to Reese Howe. Bit of a slide there, but Hedeschild going up another position again here on Ashley Norman. There you go. Not normally a overtaking spot there with, but Reese Howe looking just to the inside there, so had to pull him behind there. But Hedeschild doing an absolutely amazing job there. Oh, almost thinking that chicken up car then potentially might have outbraked themselves there, just pulling it up in time there as Reese Howe's going to end up in a chicken sandwich by the looks of it.
He is, isn't he? Reese Howe is really lost out to Hedeschild, who did good to get by on that lap, and you can see the difference it's made because he has got so much in hand now over Reese Howe. Not only 2 cars, but a lot of track position as well. As out of the last corner, Norman covers, Turner drives it down the racing line, and Howe stays in his draft. Mitch Dean's coming out of pit road. He's going to come out right in amongst this battle. They're 3 wide coming up on Mitch Dean, who's coming out of pit road as well. And in the middle, Ashley Norman breaks the latest, but he overshoots, runs off the road, and Howe's going to get the crossover and end up on the outside of the racetrack. Watch for Mitch Dean's cold tyres to bring him back to these guys as well. Oh, a little touch.
Yeah, you don't really want to be there on the outside there of that long sweeper there, but
there they go.
No.
Reese Howe gets a big whack from not once but twice from Ashley Norman. That second time, Reese Howe got hit by Turner, and that's what pushed him into Reese Howe.
Yeah, it did look like their Turner redressing that position there. It was helped a little bit by, I think it might have been Norman there bumped into him, and it was just a bit of a concertina effect there. But yeah, all that battling there has looked like that is going to cost Reese Howe another podium, unfortunately, there. We're just seeing Hedeschild really powering up the road at the moment. So Hedeschild potentially with a career best here in the Turbo Touring Car season here.
In the season? Yeah, probably. It's race 2.
Oh, sorry. and in previous seasons as well, yes.
You know, I'm actually not sure. You might be right there. You probably are. But I feel like Hedeschild, surely he squeaked a podium over the seasons. He's definitely had the pace to do so on some occasions. Luck might not have gone his way. Either way, this is a very good start to Season 6 for him, as Jay Cool is on lap 9 of 12. He's got 2 more opportunities to bring his car to pit road. As once again, it continues down the main straight. 1 on the right, 1 on the left. Bit of dust coming out from that 1 on the right, which is actually Mitch Dean, sorry.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the benefits here of Barcelona being such a wide track. You can almost just really pick almost every corner through here has multiple lines and stuff you can take, so you can just see them both running really high up on that apex there. We have seen some overtakes before around the outside of that big sweeper there. Martin Turner definitely lining him up there. He's going to be able to get down the inside, keep that overlap through that other big sweeping. Just as they come into that turn 4 hairpin, whether or not it does look like the other chicken up car is just up on the inside there, so running too wide. That is going to slow them up a little bit, potentially play into the hands there of Reese Howe just behind these two. Reese Howe only 3/10 behind, so he's going to be right in the back of this battle now.
I love watching from the chopper cam as well, because I can hear Ashley Norman's car in this instance scraping over the curbs as he bounces. And now Reese Howe goes for a very ambitious lunge on Martin Turner, and he gets the spot. Fantastic confidence on that brake pedal to be able to pull that up. Came from a long way back, and there wasn't much that Martin Turner could do to stop that move from happening. Now he's going to have to set his sights on Mitch Dean as well, with just a couple of laps remaining. Jay Cool has pitted, and he's coming out of pit road, and he'll be comfortably ahead of Mario Vartanen as well.
Yeah, you can see him trying to throw the draft off there, so you can just see Mitch Dean swaying it left to right there, trying to break the toe there of Reese Howe. So Reese Howe very well up the inside there. Oh, and it looks like Turner just being a little bit harder there on the brakes. So, and a bit of a tap there. So Reese Howe giving back a little bit from there. Obviously from the previous lap, got banged around a little bit. Such a great battle we're seeing between these three.
This is a true touring car racing, isn't it? A little bit of beating and banging, but they've all kept themselves on the racetrack. As I think Mitch Dean had a bit of a misplay there. Went to the racing line. Reese Howe said, "Oh, I'll take the inside. Thank you very much." They touch again on the exit of the corner, and Howe should be able to complete this one, as he does have the supremacy on the brakes. But Mitch Dean looks to the crossover, then swipes across the nose of Martin Turner behind. Tell you what, they are not far away from having a crash, these three. They are playing with some very fine margins at the moment. And Mitch Dean's going to have the run again. Howe drives it down the left-hand side of the racetrack, inside the third line on the brakes. Keeps the spot, balks the car a bit on the apex to stop the immediate crossover from Dean. And he's happy to let him get to the outside there, because an outside move there doesn't really work unless you overshoot the inside, which is what Reese Howe did, and Dean forces his way to the right-hand side. And so we go again, side by side through a corner, with Dean and Howe and Turner watching on.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be anyone's game here down the straight. So Reese Howe being the first wheel, but we'll see these two chicken up cars there with the draft. Reese Howe moving over there right to the inside there, trying to cover off one of the chicken up cars. They're going to go 3 wide here into turn 1. Chicken up sandwich again for Reese Howe, but outbraking both of them there. So all, which has brought
Look out, here comes
Ashley Norman, I think, and Mitch Dean are all together now. So Reese Howe's going to have his work cut out for him for the next lap and a half.
Ashley Norman almost got turned by Mitch Dean as he got around his outside at turn 2, but just was able to catch the car as it snapped a bit of oversteering. Surely one of these 3 chicken up racing cars can get by Reese Howe. Safety in numbers, right?
Well, I have to say, Reese Howe is super, super strong, so he's a little bit further down the order than what we've seen in the past here, but we'll just see. It could be anyone's guess whether or not the chicken up drivers are able to communicate with each other. I'm sure, like a lot of the other teams, there's a bit of talking going on. We are seeing Martin Turner is the lead chicken up car in this chicken up train here. Well almost within striking distance at the moment there. So, but we have seen Reese Howe is so strong under brakes into this corner here. Oh, holding that inside line. So we saw on last lap here, Turner just getting up on the inside there. He's almost going to do it again there, but Reese Howe covering off really well.
Just one lap to go for these guys in the battle for P5 they're racing for. White flag is out for your race leader, Jay Cool. Steve Kirk has come to pit road. D'Artagnan in second was 6 tenths quicker than Cool, but he's 3.2 seconds back. Heddershide officially climbs onto the podium now, and it is a P4 battle, this one, so I stand corrected. Into turn one, no one's close enough to make any moves. Mitch Dean gets so close to the back of Norman, and Norman goes off. Same place he went off earlier, too deep, overshoots the entry to two, and Dean has an overlap just about through turn three, and drives down the right-hand side door of Norman and forces his way by.
That's not... Yeah, it's exactly not wanting to crash into your teammate. You can see the lights flashing there, so not a little bit too impressed, but that definitely has pushed him just that too far back there for this fourth place position, but definitely not for Turner. Turner's well within striking distance at the moment there, so looks like he's going to try and line up Reese Howe. We've only got a few more corners to go through here, so they're going to make it through the chicane. We're not going to see too much action here through the chicane. It's going to be in these final corners there where Martin Turner's going to try and put him in a move.
He got one. Howe dropped it off the outside of the racetrack there, and he's had to cover, and that has severely compromised his run onto the back straight. Martin Turner's going to be all over him. He's got a much better exit, a lot more speed down to the straight, but he's on the wrong side of the road, so look for the crossover here. Watch for Howe to cover it as well. In fact, Turner was happy to keep his car on the outside. He wanted the inside for the next corner. He's not going to get it. Just a couple corners remain for these guys in their battle for P4, but out front, Jay Cool going to cross the line. It's race win number 2 for Jay Cool as he clean sweeps round 1. D'Artagnan second, Heddershide third. Who gets fourth out of the final corner? It's Reese Howe. He's going to fend them all off.
Yeah, what a great defensive drive there by Reese Howe. He knew exactly where Martin Turner was going to try and pick that inside line like he had on a few laps previous. So covering off that inside really, really well. But yeah, massive props to both of them. Really great close racing there. Just seeing the last few here cross the line there. So Ira Feldberg in 10th and Matthew Spencer. So pretty good drive there. Top 10 result there for Ira as we're going to go through the grid, the finished positions.
Yep, Jay Cool winning by 3.8 seconds, so a bit more comfortable than race 1. D'Artagnan again finishes the bridesmaid. Daniel Heddershide is home in third. Reese Howe 4th and Martin Turner 5th, ahead of Mitch Dean and Ashley Norman 6th and 7th. Back at Sulis picks up 8th, ahead of Robert Northway 9th and RFL Berg 10th.
Just missing out on the top 10, Matthew Spencer, Jago Pascoe, Steve Kirk, Isaac Edwards in 14th, Cameron Cousins in 15th, Jack Patterson, Isaac Summers, and Chris Beakley not finishing the race.
So Jay Cool opens his account very strongly, and he looks like he may be the one to beat as we gear up for the rest of Season 6. Let's have a chat then to our race winner. Jay, it looked reasonably comfortable for you in race 2. Race 1 was a bit difficult, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely race 1 was a bit difficult. That was good fun though, so I enjoyed it.
Talk us through then what changes between the two races for you, because it just seemed like you were lacking a bit of outright pace in the first one compared to what you were able to do second time out.
Oh, just the first race, I made a few mistakes the first few laps, basically it.
Yeah, pit strategy for race 2 didn't really make too much of a difference, seeing as how far out you were. Did you keep much of an eye on what they were doing behind you?
Yeah, I was looking at the distance and they weren't really catching, so I just kept going longer and longer.
Go as long as you can. Doesn't matter when you're out front. and he can't be overtaken. So opening up well with the maximum points, eyeing out a championship this season.
Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully I can win it.
Well, you only got 5 more rounds left to go, and then the trophy is yours. As easy as that.
Yeah, that's it.
Who do you want to thank for helping you get it done today?
Shamik Racing, Snap-on, and Prologue for a great setup.
All right, thank you for joining us, Jay, and good job on a race. Well done.
Thanks.
It's Jay Cool coming home with both wins, and Nick and standing by with Mario.
Yeah, Mario, congratulations, mate, on second place. Bit of a lonely second place there in race 2.
Yeah, I realised I was like slightly down on pace, so I gave an undercut a go, but obviously it didn't really work. But I'm pretty happy. I guess we'll move on to the next round and try get Jay.
Yeah, for sure. And we've definitely seen you right up there on Jay's pace in the future as well. So did you have any highlights in race 1 or 2?
Race 1 was pretty action-packed, lots of battles with Jay and Race. But yeah, it was a fun race. Race 2 was a bit more boring, but P2 for race 1 and 2 was pretty happy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So really good points haul for the championship this year. And there's a good few future races coming up. Tracks that I'm sure that you're pretty familiar with as well.
Yeah, Nürburgring should be a bit of a different type of race, obviously. An extremely hard track and obviously very long. But yeah, it's fun to see some new tracks on the calendar.
Yeah, for sure. Any sponsors and shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, would like to say good thanks to Assassin Dirt Bikes, Assassin Aluminium, Triways, and Mum and Dad for the opportunities they've given me. And yeah.
No, excellent, Mario. And yeah, congratulations on your 2 second places.
Thank you.
Mario Vartanian walks away with a second and a second tonight. And Daniel Heddershire joins us in the booth after claiming a podium in race 2. You happy with that result?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's taken a while to come, but we finally got there.
So we were debating, is that your first podium?
Yeah, it's the first podium in the series.
It's taken you a while, for sure. I was adamant that you'd been up there before, because you've been thereabouts, just haven't quite gotten over the line. You got there today. What changed today to get there, especially between the first race and the second one as well?
I think that second race was a lot to do with the strategy coming in on lap 1. And then I got lucky. No one else decided to pit for about 2 or 3 laps. Well, no one in front of me. And then, yeah, obviously I managed to come out, get a couple quick passes done, which chucked me in the podium position.
That pit strategy, electing to pit on lap 1, was that the plan from the outset, or did it depend on where you were?
Yeah, I was sort of going, seeing how it all went. Then I started getting held up a bit by the guys battling out front. I didn't really want to get involved in it. I thought I'd just keep it clean. This race last season, I ended up getting put in the fence, so that ruined my championship. So I thought, clean air, and yeah, it paid off in the end.
Well, it certainly did. Congratulations on picking up that career best, and who are the people that help you get it done?
I think the 111 boys, Steve with Simfinity, Ira for running the series, and yeah, you guys for the broadcasting.
Thank you very much. Hope to see more of it next round and next time out. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
That was Daniel Heddershot picking up his first podium in Ozicar Turbo Touring Car competition, and that brings us to the end of our broadcast tonight. Make sure you stay tuned on Simspeed TV, because in about 20 minutes' time, we're going hard and fast around Nürburgring, I think, in the iRacing Rallycross cars. That should be fun, but for tonight, for the Ozicar TCR series, and myself, Ryan Jones, and Nick Scrave alongside me, Scott Fontaine behind the scenes. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
This is This is GT racing right now. He's got traction, he's going in the outside of both of them! Maloney! Oh, he's taking Anderson! Anderson's up there! Oh my god! Oh, big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my god.
God, what?